Hello, welcome to the Red Book Podcast. This is the fourth in our series, and today we are really excited because Jeff and I are hosting from the Fun Show in Orlando, Florida, and we've got Seth Chandler here from Witter Numismatics as our special guest.
Yeah.
Seth,
I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm a part of this. Yeah.
First guest in the Red Book Podcast.
Really? This is exciting. All right.
So
Good. Good.
some new blood.
Cool.
So we're
Okay.
excited. So
Okay.
thank you for coming.
Okay.
I brought
Thank you.
the copy of the big reveal
Okay.
example, the 26
I love this.
Red
I
Book.
love this. Yeah.
So we'd love to get your feedback and tell us, and let's go. Let's just
Okay.
roll.
Well, first of all, the thing that gets me, I love the size of it. I love the rings right away. The fonts. I love the top 100 coins based on the section that it's in. So if you're looking at, you could be looking at $5 Liberties and you see the 54S there. You're going to see some amazing coins, but I love the layout. You got the pictures. Really good job with it. This is one of the hardest jobs in numismatics.
Yeah, it's a big job.
I know you're the editor and you're the publisher, but this is critical to our hobby. This is the Red Book. This is the most prestigious book out there. And I think you said you sell like over 200,000 copies of these every year.
200,000 copies.
Wow.
And hopefully more with this edition.
Wow. And I would think the second rate book would be yours. That's, respectfully a fraction of that, but it sells a lot for a coin book.
Right.
Yeah.
And this also goes hand in hand with the other. So if anybody starts coin collecting, the first thing they gets a Red Book and a Whitman folder. I mean, millions of people have started collecting that way. So it's really it's really the foundation of the hobby for new collectors, these two things.
That's important. Usually we give these out at our showroom in San Francisco, and you give them out and you just tell people, just look, just flip through it.
Yeah.
I think there's two big ways to collect coins that are very popular. It's focusing on one type of series and collecting every date and mint mark of that, for example, Morgan dollars. But looking through the Red Book will give you so many ideas on other series to collect, but I think even a step beyond type collecting. You're going to see, maybe you love dimes, maybe you love quarters. It's fun to look at the pictures, the mintages, and some pricing guidance to help you set your budget. It'll help you become a much better collector. It'll give you ideas. You'll daydream. It's almost like you daydream looking through the Red Book.
Right. Yeah. Almost every one of us, and I'm sure the three of us including, started out as youngsters, getting a Red Book, going to bed at night, just kind of like, 3-cent silvers, B-nickels or Morgan dollars. And the book tells you in a most concise manner, which, how many coins you have to get to complete the set, which ones are going to be the stoppers. And, and you're looking through it and you're like, I'm going to have a 94S dime one day. One day, I'm going to buy that coin that says rare. No way you're going to own one of those. And I'm going to get one. And I basically built my career on a sort of a goal of achieving something like that, right? I mean, I wanted to handle the coins in the Red Book. So it is a very sentimental thing to be a part of that book. And, you're part of the sentimentality because we love it together. And it's just, it is an amazing product. You look at it. I mean, how many pages were like 450 pages, but still under $20. It's so accessible. It's accessible enough that you can give it away in your shop. And that's the whole thing. Making collectors, because you read this thing, well, holy cow, right? Everything's in here. So I'm glad you love it. We love it.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's also like when we do the book, like from the editing process, part of the responsibility is like, what coins do you list like under Lincoln pennies? Because if it's listed in there, that's what you may be, that's what's considered a complete set. So 55 double die but do you put a 58 double die? So you have to, it's really a guide for how to collect coins. Really, it's your light post on how to do it. So,
it's interesting. You bring up how you communicate your words on how you define it brings up, a lot of ideas and things in my head that's a part of our hobby and our industry that I kind of take for granted. When you have a variety, folks, of any particular series, one of the first things you ask, is it a Red Book variety?
Right.
Because if it's a Red Book variety, it's a serious variety. So it teaches collectors about what type of varieties are important for that particular series. Because let's face it, every series really has hundreds and hundreds of varieties, but the team at Red Book have really determined which one's the most important ones, which one's the most dramatic. Not only do they tell you that, but they also give you price guidance, because some of that stuff is very, very hard to value. So it's into so many different ways to look at Red Book, how important it is.
Making it to the Red Book is almost everything. So many collectors only collect by Red Book.
Right.
So, or registry sets are built based on coins that are in the Red Book.
Yeah, it's a vetting process to get in there, and we really take it serious because we know if we put it on there, hey, it's pressure to collect it. So we want to make sure it's the right coin to do, and it'll be there forever.
Right.
We don't ever take them out. That would be tough. It's like, hey, I had a Red Book coin. Now it's not there anymore. It would be bad. So.
I'm sitting here laughing to myself because I'm thinking of all the other things that I use daily for the Red Book. It's like, I'm very anal about how I want my coins sorted. You even hear this all the time.
Yeah.
I want them in red book order, damn it, red book
Oh.
order. Everything needs to be in red book order. And a lot of like newer people are like, what the hell does that mean? Hello.
Right.
It's the
Right.
order, date, mint mark, by year, by type. Everything needs to be in red book order. That's
Right,
how
right.
trained I am
Yeah.
on the red book. It's
That's
like it
right.
needs to
What
be.
if I move the order? What if I?
Oh,
change
I
the
go
order?
crazy. That's not in red book
I'm like,
order.
and
You
I'm
know
not
what I mean?
responsible for that.
Yeah.
But we've added this
Uh-oh.
year. We've added our gray sheet ID, GSID, which we talked about in another podcast. Looking
Yeah,
out the
it's
CAC
huge.
grading service, CACG uses
Yeah.
that number,
Yeah.
and we're hoping the whole industry will
Yeah.
adopt this number
Yeah.
at some time. But that is, I have the same bugaboo. Like when I'm talking to people and you send me a database of coins, or I send you a list of
Yeah,
prices,
yeah.
it's going to always be in what I call the gray sheet GSID order,
Right.
which is the same now as this red book order
Mhm.
that you're taught. That it's everything to organization to have a structure.
It's like a cheat code.
Yeah.
It's like a cheat code for the coin. You type in that 4-digit number, boom, everything about that coin pulls up.
And you have to be able to cross-reference, like what's, where's that variety of photograph? Where's that in the list? So it has to really be clear because, sometimes, these things, especially large cents, can be confusing. So you gotta make it simple. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Right.
And I got all these thoughts that are coming to my head.
Okay.
So
Let's go.
what's also interesting, I don't care how much you know about coins. I tend to think I probably know a little bit more than the average collector, but there's so many things for me to learn. I have these laying around everywhere in the shop. It's easy. How many times have you heard me say, where the hell is my red book? Where is it? We should have one there. As a recommendation to all of you collectors, well, I think you got to buy, 2 is one is none. Buy 2 red books. Have one on your desk. And respectfully have one in your toilet, when you're taking care of a little bit of business, because you're
right.
going to guaranteed spend 10 or 15 minutes, or at least from my perspective,
Yeah.
10 or 15 minutes on it. But it's endless amounts of information.
Yeah,
It's
I think what's cool, it's the only book that I know of that someone had started on day one has a red book. Someone's collected coins for 40 years, has a red book. There's not many books that really have that kind of it's for everybody, really.
Beginner
to
Yeah.
super advanced. I mean,
Right.
there's not many books that have that are useful for everyone.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm proud of more than anything.
Yeah. And that's a good point because it is a very unique property. I think, it's an incredible item that we're really proud to be part of.
Yeah.
And, we're proud that people like you love it. I mean, it really matters.
it's critical.
It matters.
No, it's
so
big.
much.
It's
So-
a big deal. It really is a
Yeah.
big deal. You got to have them laying around. You always reference them. And just another thought, red books are so popular. Us coin nerds, we pay a lot of money for something that's a little bit better or something that's rare, unique. There's a huge, vibrant market for the first issues and the older issues of red book. How much is the first year edition worth?
$1,000 or more.
$1,000 for a red
Yeah.
book.
There's
Yeah.
actually a page in the back
Uh-huh.
that references the value of old red books.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a whole collectible.
So if I'm at a garage sale and I see an old red book, I know what the price is.
yeah, I mean, the first
Got it.
edition's the really good one.
Yeah, they made two editions. They made the first and a second edition of the first year, and they're both kind of equally valuable. So that's where they drop off after that. That was the very first collectible. It's really
Highly
worth a lot.
collectible.
Wow.
Very interesting.
So here's what I find most interesting. In my life, in my personal life, in my business life, I try to be a better human being and be a better dad, be a better business person every year. Try to improve things every year. But when you've had 79 different editions, when you two get together to be like, okay, how do we make the red book better this year? It's challenging because there's already so much information. How do you do that? Wow, where do you get these ideas from?
I guess I can answer this. So the Red Book for a long time, the former owners, it was so successful, they hated to make changes because it was kind of like, God, it works so well. If we change it, maybe it won't work so well. If you take the last 10 years of Red Books, they didn't change a lot.
Yeah.
So when John took over the company, he's an innovator. I mean, I had to kid him. I said, you got to make sure it stays red. But that's only a half joke because gray sheet's not gray anymore, right? So I mean, there you go. So I said there's some tradition, but it was like, okay, how can we do this book different? And I think we talked about it on one of the other podcasts, but this book needs to represent how people collect coins.
Yeah.
And there were sections of the books that really it was kind of like they were representing them, but they were just like, it was almost like a placeholder. It really didn't take a dive.
Yeah.
This edition, probably the best example of that is California Fractional Gold.
Yes.
We used to be like 2 pages. They're kind of like a picture of this, picture of that by type. Meant nothing to anybody that collected Cal Fractional Gold. This edition's got every BG number is how they collect. It's like 10 pages now or something of California Fractional Gold. So that was innovative and hugely different. That'll make the book probably indispensable for a whole bunch of people that collect those things now. So it's I think the big thing is just to try to make the book how people collect coins and not be afraid to say, hey, we don't like that. We'll do it different next year.
That's cool. That's good
Right.
perspective. Okay.
There's a lot of ways to
Mhm.
improve. I mean, this year was, some very superficial changes. As you noticed,
It's
the
beautiful.
ring was double because it's so much
Right.
better,
Mhm.
so much better for the consumer
Mhm.
to have a double ring. And we also, like I said, we made it 6x9. Turns out that the bookshops don't love 5.5 by 8.5. They want 6x9. This is a standard
Mhm.
trade paperback, as we call it.
Mhm.
So we've done that. We're coming out with a perfect bound edition,
Mhm.
which haven't been done in years,
Yeah.
which is crazy, but that's like the standard flat back edition with which I think will do well in
Mhm.
in the stores because you can see it with the name of the book, and of course a deluxe hardcover, which instead of just in the past they had like the foil stamp. We're gonna do a full color hardcover like that.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Usually people we find are told people like to have the hardcover for their library and the spiral on your desk.
Right.
And we have the large print, which is for people like me.
Yeah.
I love the large print. Really, that's the book I want on my desk. And not gonna fit in your back pocket.
Yeah. Another thing too is that's really going to help a lot this edition and going forward is for the last 20 years, I would like sit in my basement, try to come up with pricing and work on the grids for Whitman, put them in there. I did it. I didn't like doing it, kind of hated doing it. But I got it done because I enjoyed the privilege. But now, a coin dealer newsletter has such a massive database. They can do pricing almost automatically. So now it frees me up to do creative, content and editorial and, work on sections that rewrite them and make them more modern. So before there was never time for that. It was always like, got to get it in, deadline, past deadline. And it's like, well, we'll change that next time. So now it's doing more, more content.
That's one of my favorite things about how they're just getting better. It's the commentary. It's the footnotes. It's little subtle messages to teach you and educate you.
Right.
Great.
I love that. It's not just a
Bring you a
grid,
little deeper.
coins and prices and messages. It's like little details.
Yeah.
Subtle little things that only like a coin collector and a numismatist would know.
Right.
Yeah.
So real quick, we've talked a lot about this red book.
Yeah.
Tell us about the show. I don't get the buy and sell points. But tell me really quick how the show is for you guys.
It's really good.
It is.
Leading up to this last couple of months have been probably one of the best markets we've ever seen.
Okay.
All we're doing
Love
is
it.
buying coins. It's our showcase. You hardly have any coins.
Don't put the coins out. Right. Bring them home. Bring the good stuff home.
Yes, and
That's
so
what you're gonna
we've been
do.
selling coins on many different platforms. So we've just, my eyes, you see, they're all shot in red. 'Cause I've been looking at thousands of coins. I feel like I've been here for days.
Yeah.
But a lot of collectors are coming here buying coins from us. It's a very vibrant market. I would say what people are really looking for, definitely old school classics like Morgan dollars, type gold, interesting stuff. Meat and potatoes. MS-63 to Indians, 64 to Indians, even with better dates. Amazing looking type coins. It's pretty awesome. We actually have a display. Don't tell anyone, but it's in my personal collection of about 85 gold CAC CEC approved coins. Like real coins, really fun stuff. People are getting a big kick out of that. So I'm just having a blast.
You're mad because you won't sell them. Right.
Yeah, I know, but we bring these signs.
People are upset you're not selling it old.
I like to mess with people, but that's how it is.
Good.
We're just having fun. What about you, Jeff?
You come here, it's the show from a collector basis. A&A probably has a little bit less collectors, but maybe more higher level collectors. But this show has the numbers. I mean, this Boris is 700-800 tables, 600 tables. I don't know. It's a ton. It was an hour wait to get a badge this morning, and the room's full of people. So, and it just kind of gotten started. So market's super vibrant. And you mentioned these platforms. I wholesale coins a lot. People are just like dying to buy coins because they've got, all these new platforms have shown up and they have to supply them. So the supply chain is, really vibrant and people are wanting merchandise.
Lack of material.
Yeah, lack of material. Yeah, you can't, I'm kind of jealous of the guys that sell modern coins. I wish I could just call the men up and send me a bunch of Morgan dollars,
I think I've seen two distinct things that have happened here versus, let's say, the fun show 3 or 4 years ago. As I see a heck of a lot more young numismatists.
Oh, yeah.
I see a younger adult. They're wheeling and dealing, and they're buying big coins. In some cases, they know more than me.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they're doing. A lot more. It's very noticeable. Even the people, the old farts here, they're only paying attention to the hobby. They've noticed a huge difference. The second thing I noticed, these other platforms, like, for example, Whatnot. We've had today 24 people walk out that we met and do business with us on Whatnot that have walked up here.
Right.
I think it's generated, the social media, Whatnot platforms is bringing a lot of new people into the hobby.
Yeah.
And that's why it's our job, especially YouTube, being you see elders in the business and decades of experience to really reinforce what people need to learn. You know what I mean?
We're all trying to go part of the social media. We really appreciate you joining us on this podcast. And we're going to keep doing it. And we're going to keep supporting the hobby. And you tell us how we can do that for you with our literature and our pricing. and have a great point show.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
this
it's
was
been
really
great.
I'm the first guest on the podcast.
You're the
This is
first
actually
one.
fun.
You're it.
So folks out there, please do this. If you guys liked what we did or what I did, say, hey, bring
or
him on
even don't
again.
like it.
Bring him on again. Or never have that guy on again. But more importantly, put in the comments the type of content that you want to see and other guests you want to see on the podcast.
That's right.
They're brand new. Let's run with it. Let's have fun. We're all three of us are very enthusiastic about the hobby, the business of the hobby. We know we have some experiences that all of you want to hear about. But unless you tell us, we don't know what
We
to
don't
say.
know. And we
So
will
tell us.
respond to every
Type in the
question
comments.
and
Yes.
comment.
All right. Thanks,
Yeah,
y'all.
it's a lot of
Bye-bye.
fun.